Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another live stream. Dude, I saw that. To the moon, big balls. Yeah, did you see what big balls did? There were 8 black teenagers beating up some old woman. He tried to come to her defense. It's admirable. Now the coin is probably pumped significantly. Isn't there a Freedom of Information Act request on those Epstein files? Yeah, but those Freedom of Information Act requests don't, they can deny those. Just because, trust me, as we've learned with 9/11, they deny those all the time. If you put in a Freedom of Information Act request for anything related to 9/11, they say there's cases technically still ongoing. Like the prosecution of the terrorists. It's like, what? I mean, seriously. These people try and get information on LOL Superman. You're still curious about Ada's movements leading up to the attacks? Well, I know what Ada did in the day leading up. The weeks, I mean, the weeks leading up to the attacks, it's a little bit more foggy. But he was in Maine. Yeah, the Trump rooftop video. That's a good video. I'm glad people liked that video because I saw that and I was like, that's a wholesome moment. You're not gonna see many politicians act like that. Whatever happened to the Trump 2028 guy? Oh, he still lingers. Can Republicans gerrymander enough to secure the House? We'll have to see. They're trying to get maybe an advantage of 10 or 12 seats. The Democrats are trying to gerrymander 5 or 6 seats back. So it's looking like it could be a Republican advantage with this redistricting of like 6 or like 4 or 5 seats maybe. If you Your liberal coworker was bitching about Republicans gerrymandering and claiming it's unconstitutional and illegal. We'll show her the map of the districts in Illinois and have a response. Or California. Or any of the small states in the Northeast. I mean, they all gerrymander. It is what it is. Do you think Ada was closeted gay? He seemed like he would be, seemed like he really didn't have any motivation to. I wouldn't be surprised if he was just like sterile. Honestly, I know people were claiming he was gay and stuff, and but I don't know about that. You know, they do that with a lot of people. Dude, I like hurt. I don't even know how this happened. I like my hand is sore. It's very sore. It's like. And it happened last night. Like, I started noticing my hand was really sore last night on stream. I was like, because I was cracking my knuckles, or I was cracking my fingers, and I was like, why is my hand so sore? It's like when you punch someone or you punch a wall the day after. That's what it feels like. But I don't punch people or hit anything, and my hand is just so sore. And it was like moving up to my arm, and then my arm started to feel sore. But now it's just my hand is sore. I took Advil, but I think the Advil wore off because I took it at like 9 a.m. It's like there's no way it's broken or anything. It's just weird. Iowa is the only state not allowed to gerrymander. If you look at the map, it's beautiful. Yeah, I think the gerrymandering laws are a joke because it's like they say it's all legal and they get around it. But the conservative maps are normally a little bit better because a lot of the rural areas, but all the maps, there's a lot of bad conservative maps too. But to me, the gerrymander conversation, it's kind of irrelevant. It's like, well, they both do it. Who can do it better? I mean, that's basically what it is. Monthly deportations down 20%. Yeah, because they don't have the money yet. They have to get the money from the big beautiful bill to deport. No, it has nothing to do with gooning or anything like that, man. This is something weird because, and also I would understand if I slept on it wrong, but then I would feel it in the morning. The first time I felt it, it was at night. So it's like if I would have slept on it wrong, you when you wake up you feel it sore. But that's not how I felt it. I felt it at like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night. Nerve damage. You're 21, starting to get gray hairs. That seems pretty insane. If you're getting gray hairs on your head, I mean, I know it's people age at different speeds and things like that, especially with hairs. Hair is so tough. But I don't know about gray. I have known people that people some people get gray, into their mid 20s, but it's pretty rare. They need to pass a law that the next census doesn't include illegals. Yeah, they should do that. I mean, no matter what, it's bad for both sides. We don't want Republicans states to count illegals as representation or Democrat states. We don't want either one. We don't want either one. Who do you think Q is? That was a joke, Ben. The QAnon stuff. That was like a caricature to make Republicans seem like lunatics. That's what that was. You watched Taken today? Yeah, Taken's a good movie with Liam Neeson. Taken 2. I think they're both. I watched all three of them, but there's three of them. Yeah, they're good. They're actiony movies. They need to be counted because we need to know how much sewer water we need. But as for the vote counts, no. No, no, no. What we're talking about is they're counted in terms of you can still count them. You can count them either way. It doesn't matter. What we're saying is they shouldn't be counted towards giving certain states more power because they have illegals. It doesn't make sense. You can count for the amount of total people in a state without giving them the full power based on total population. We don't want the power to be handed out based on total population. We want it to be handed out based on citizenship. What day does YouTube start asking for ID? That's insane, dude. I think it's like August 13th. I don't think they're gonna really. They're gonna like their AI is gonna detect if they think you're under 18, and then they'll ask for an ID. I think. I mean, that does seem like I don't even know how that's allowed. Not sure if you remember my profile, Kevin. Yeah, no, I've seen you before, Kevin, in here. You admire my work. I appreciate it, man. Meme coin whales and their recent large scale selling has added to the bearish momentum. What selling? They're selling meme coins? No, I think, dude, I think if there was any bearish things, the bearish stuff has been the tariffs that Trump reintroduced and then the revised employment numbers. American M, thank you for the $5. Trump is not beating the allegations about being controlled by Israel. I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about, the thing that he did yesterday. But I thought he revised that. Don't worry, he revised it, I think. He had to change it. They had to change the wording of it. I know it did look pretty bad. I'll be honest. I'll admit it looked bad, but they had to change it. Your work ethic is inspiring. He's like, look at what we did, and it's just Gulf of America. We changed the name. And then McGregor, like, your work ethic is inspiring for doing something like that, for changing the name. Starting to turn on Israel a bit. Yeah, well, that's pretty much everyone under the age of 30. That's everyone under the age of 30 is turning on Israel at this point. Sydney Sweeney being labeled a bigot makes her hotter. Yeah, but you see what Democrats are now saying? They're saying, well, we actually didn't care about it because they realize how dumb they look. So now some of them are like, oh, we never cared about it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, Trump floats Vance Rubio. This is the favorite ticket right now for 28. I mean, it's a long ways away, but I think we all agree it's the best ticket for 2028. This liberal Krasenstein returns from Japan and says, "Oh my goodness, it's so safe. They have no immigration. I wonder why it's so safe." It's like, yeah, they all do the same thing. Liberals cannot praise Japan. It would just destroys their worldview. I think Japan takes in like 100 immigrants a year. I mean, they take in very little. They actually didn't. They actually didn't revise it. They just changed the wording. It's still the same thing. No unfair boycotts. Yeah, but think about it. They in when they first released it, it said you can't boycott Israel, and then they said, no, you just can't boycott. They made it vaguer. Is what they made it more vague. I think is what they did. Can't believe Trump outed Sydney Sweeney as a registered Republican. No, no, it was that was already news before Trump said it. Trump picked up on it. It was already news. It was already on X that she was a registered Republican. Liberal here, you love everything about Japan. Well, they're very racist against minorities. You like that? You know, the Japanese are extremely racist. No wonder their society is so safe. You think Vance Gabbard would be a nice balanced ticket? They're both veterans. Yeah, no, I think that'd be if you're talking about overall just perfect scenario, it'd probably be Vance Gabbard. But I mean, what does it even matter with the VP? Rubio or Gabbard? I think either one of them. It doesn't really change a ton. But I guess in terms of just precision, Gabbard might be better. Dylan, what's up, man? Why is Tulsi Gabbard glazed so much? Has she done anything? Well, the recent stuff has been she's involved. She's leading the whole. Well, first of all, I just say as an overview, any time like a woman like her going from being a liberal to be conservative or at least being like an independent, it's big because it's almost like bragging rights for conservatives because she was a liberal and they got her to switch and so they're just with something like that and she's a woman and she's got a very good resume and a good in terms of her history. So there's a lot there that is appealing, you know, with her as a politician. If you trust Vance, you are a tool, full step. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything against Vance. I mean, I guess it just depends what he does over the next few years. I mean, I think everyone takes money from donors, so I know people talk about him taking money, and I mean, everyone does that. So I, Vance is fine, but he's gonna have to do something or some prove himself somehow. But people will vote for him anyways. I mean, not much. You. Yeah, I mean it's been a pretty boring day, honestly, but you know that's what happens in August. I think there's just not a lot. It's not a lot of stuff. I'm just waiting to hit 300K honestly, and then I'll do a video on it. I just need to do another 9/11 video. I think I'll get there probably with another 9/11 video, but I don't know if I want to keep doing those same videos because it's like it's gonna get redundant at a certain point. Yes, that's another thing with Tulsi. They had her on didn't they have her on a no-fly list? Like that's insane. She should use that against them. That's crazy. The Biden administration had her on a no-fly list, and they labeled her Russia. They said she was colluding with Russia. Why do people dislike Vance? Because he's connected, I guess, to Peter Thiel. But people have to understand, you know, Palantir is they're just a data optimization conglomerate. So they're not they're a guppy. They're a little small guppy. Who you got in the Dublin game? Yeah, I mean the game in Ireland. I don't. So it's the only thing is it's Georgia Tech and who, or is Georgia Tech not playing in it? No, Kansas State. It's a Big 12 game. It's Kansas State, Iowa State. Dude, that's a freaking boring game. I'm sorry. I probably Kansas State with Avery Johnson. Vance was a Democrat. No, I thought Vance was a never Trump Republican. Vance was a never Trump Republican, I believe. But dude, I mean, I know the grift to be against Vance and be a Republican. It's like, really, dude, really. Iowa State versus Kansas State, yeah. I'll take Kansas State to win that game barely. Vance doesn't have nearly the amount of charisma Trump has, but you think the Trump endorsement can cover that? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be harder to get all the low propensity people that would vote for Trump out to vote for Vance either way, just because if it says Vance on the ticket and not Trump, it becomes a problem. But Trump is certainly going to campaign for him, so it's going to help to a degree, alleviate some of that. Vance talks a lot about freedom of speech and immigration in Europe. Do you think he will appoint radical right wing ambassadors that would put tons of pressure on the Euro? Well, he did go to Europe and basically bitch slap them. So I would imagine that it would be hopefully more right wing than it even is now. If Vance wins, because then you're talking about that's another 4 years. That's going on 8 years of Republican leadership. I mean, he went to Europe and said how their immigration is killing them. So Scott Jennings was anti-Trump 3 years. Yeah, Scott Jennings is like a Bush era Republican, but people like him because he's the only Republican on CNN or the main Republican on CNN. Why do people think Vance is gay? Because those dumbass. You remember the liberals said he had sex with a couch, so I think that's why they think he's gay. But I don't know. I mean, it's tired with the accusations about that with people. Dude, that's the exact tweet. Everyone stop what you are doing and go watch Mark Levin. The boomer final boss. That tweet is boomer final boss. Trump is the final boss. Everybody stop what you're doing in all caps. Everybody stop what you're doing. I mean, how do people respond to that? Like, what do the comments look like on Truth Social? Bill Clinton will be investigated. Final thoughts. Chud Jack. Nothing ever happens to these presidents, man, except unless it's Trump. Then they elevate 34 misdemeanors. I would be spread. It's hard to say things are going to happen to these people. It's hard to say. MTG is not MAGA. Is this true? Well, she's doing the whole, I'm extremely anti-Israel. Trump is too pro-Israel for me grift. So we'll see how that works out for her. I don't know. I mean, I think she's trying to be more right wing and appeal to people, and so she's now turning on Trump and saying he's not right wing enough. And because there was something that came out, that thing that came out yesterday, it was like, well, something about, like you can't really boycott Israel or something. I don't think that's really what it was. I think it was a misprint. Yeah, it was a misprint for sure. Who do you have for Ohio State, Texas? Probably, honestly, probably Texas, man. It's a joke that that game's being played at noon. It's very sad. I'm just gonna be pissed off if Penn State is ranked 1 or 2. Penn State should not be ranked 1 or 2. Come on, dude. But the media is such like pussy boys, and they're like, oh, Penn State. Penn State cannot be ranked 1 or 2. We need Ohio State and Texas to be a 1v2. Honestly, it doesn't even matter though, because Fox puts the game on at noon. But imagine a 1v2 matchup in week 1 at night. W. Chudjack. Yeah, remember that? It's just constant, especially with these arrests. These arrests are not happening. Trump roof clip. I think I got it on here. Big Balls stops a beating. Big Balls sacrifices himself to save a lady from black teenagers beating her. Huh. Men will literally choose a shy, polite, soft woman with 0 achievements over an arrogant career woman. Yeah, why would anyone pick an arrogant career woman?
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Come down and talk to us.
It's Trump's renovation.
What are you building?
Are you considering more renovations, sir?
Are you going to build up?
Hi, sir.
He's surveying the ballroom renovation. The massive renovation to the White House that is needed, and a lot of liberals admit that it's needed because there's no actual area to have large groups of people. The 136 team bracket. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, you could actually play that. You could actually do that now because of college football 26. Well, that's hilarious. You say Trump is covering up for pedos. Well, why did you support Biden when he was doing it? And Trump's not. It's a lot more nuanced than that. So you really think it's that simple? You really think that's how the government works? You don't really think it's something behind the scenes that maybe Trump's being blackmailed? Maybe there's people. It's a lot more complicated. Maybe it affects the certain things. I mean, there's so many different levers at play, but it's just the bot Democrat talking point. These were the same people a year ago that said the Epstein files were a conspiracy theory because they thought Bill Clinton was all over them. Remember this. You think Vance would threaten to stop U.S. tourism to Europe if immigration violence problem doesn't stop? Like put Western. I don't think so, man. I don't think about that far. There's a lot. The problem with Western Europe. I don't know what they're doing with immigration. I mean, but I don't know what any of the West is doing with immigration. Like, look at London. London's a great example of. Look at the demographic shift of London. Look at the demographic shift of New York City. Look at the demographic shift of Paris. Look at the demographic shift of California, the state. It's remarkable. Biden's administration released nothing about Epstein. Lame. Yeah, exactly. But don't worry, dude. We're going to be schooled by Democrats on how self-righteous they are and how much they care about the victims now. Okay, that's great. Thoughts on Trump's CNBC interview? I saw some of it. Yeah, he was a little bit... I saw him talk about how he got the most votes in Texas, that part of it. Did Mexico ever pay for the wall? Well, I'll tell you what, Trump's too nice. We could have made Mexico pay for it if we wanted to. It would be very cruel to do that. Trump's too nice of a person. That's it. That's how you respond to that. Italy is one of the only right-wing Europe countries. Poland, yeah, but Italy, they say that Italy's all talk, no action. The woman leader. You've got Poland as well. Some of those Eastern European countries are more right-wing. $299K subs only. We need one more K. Yeah, that's gonna be good. What do you disagree with people who are further right, like Fuentes? What do I disagree with them? Well, Fuentes, he definitely is. He's got a massive ego. He really needs to be. He needs to be humbled by someone. I mean, his ego's out of control. Yeah, and now we got all the Fuentes people in here. And this happens from certain streams. It'll happen with this. I mean, it's like... Hungary's another one. You're right. Hungary, Italy, Poland, notably right wing. Yeah, but aren't there's also other Eastern European countries that are more right wing. But it is crazy how Western Europe is so liberal. Michael Rappaport's rant on Sydney Sweeney. I didn't see it. No, I mean, isn't he a comedian? He's a Jewish comedian. I mean, that's... No, Clyde is not allowed to go outside. Clyde must stay inside. Yeah, I don't think that a Reform Party in the UK is gonna do anything. But I don't know, man. Have you seen what Starmer said about immigration? Maybe they'll change it. Have they actually changed any of their policies though? That's the question. Because Starmer said we're not gonna let any boats come over, and then they let it happen. But it's like, I'm shocked those people aren't more right wing. You would figure they would be with all the immigration they've dealt with. You got any advice when it comes to speaking in front of a large crowd? You're an intern and you have to do a presentation in front of about 200 people tomorrow. Well, what you can do is you just view it as a task basically, and you view it the way you do it is you don't think of yourself as special or big. You just think an event is happening and you have to be part of it. But then all people in the crowd have to be part of it. You can't really put yourself up because then you're psych yourself out about, if you're the one speaking. So you can't think too much about it. It's just like something you have to do and you go do it. And you think there's You think there's any hope for Western Europe? And thoughts on interstellar travel? Are you talking about? I don't know about that. I don't. Dude, they always say there's going to be a comet that hits us. I don't really buy into that. So there's another one now, but there is a. I mean, Western Europe, the demographics are not complete. The demographics in the major cities are fucked, but the overall demographics of those countries are not lost beyond repair. People, they overreact, but I think it's going down a bad path. It can be corrected though. You're starting to see the parties rise to reform. Are they right wing enough? I guess we'll see. The AfD, the alternative for Germany. And so, look, maybe they're starting to stop the. I mean, even Starmer coming out saying they're done with immigration. I mean, we'll see what France does, but maybe they're starting to turn a little bit. I mean, the demographics in the big cities are fucked, but countrywide they're not terrible. For those countries, they can kind of turn it around. And it's like, that's their home, those people's home, and they still allow immigrants to come in. See, with America, we have to do all this fucking fighting about, Native Americans and everything, and, they constantly reformat the argument to try and justify mass immigration to the United States. It's not going to work. I mean, I'll do a video on it. It's a joke. Their arguments are false. They have to create false history to try and justify mass immigration. Like, how do you think our country was built? Not by the people coming in right now. That's not who built the country. That's not why our country became the #1 global superpower in 200 years after it was established. The people we're getting are they're not what made the country. They say immigrants made the country. Western European people made the country. These immigrants didn't make the country. Which one is the CIA op, Tucker or Fuentes? Yeah, I know. They both keep accusing each other of being in the CIA. I don't know. Probably they're probably all in it, honestly. No, I don't know. I thought neither of them were in it, but now it looks like both of them are. Rubio is one of the biggest Zio shills in the GOP. No one in this stream should be supporting him for VP. Yeah, no, did you see the video of Rubio on the tarmac or at the airport about how, I mean, it was like probably the most pro-Israel video I've seen out of any government person. I mean, he was really passionate, but he's kind of kept it down. He's kept his support a little bit neutered. Like, maybe it's just the position he's in, but I haven't really heard Rubio talk about, maybe behind the scenes it's happening, but I didn't really hear much about, the war with Iran. I didn't hear much from Rubio about it. You got a way to justify mass immigration to the United States. Your great grandparents didn't have a passport or citizenship. Yeah, but I mean, they were coming from Europe. So you're creating a false equivalency. Those are not the people that are coming in. We're not arguing the same thing. And also, that's a different standard. That was a growing younger country. We're not in that stage anymore. We have 350 million people in the country now. Yeah, I never heard Rubio talk much recently either. He doesn't say a lot. He does. He'll go on like CNN or do you do the quick interviews on the networks, but Rubio really hasn't. I haven't heard much from Rubio at all. I haven't even heard anything in terms of like news reports behind the scenes, which is kind of surprising, but. Remember when Trump was mocking Rubio with water bottle incident back in 2016 primaries? Yeah, what a time. What a time. Rubio a lot younger. But that's how politics are, man. They go at each other and then they have to make up and people that argue the country is a country of immigrants never heard of the word settlers. Well, yeah, the original ones were settlers, true, because they founded a new country. We didn't settle and take over the Native American government. They didn't have a government. So they would be settlers, but yeah, then there would be technically immigrants coming over from Ireland after the famine, and From Western Europe. That's the thing. But I mean, the country put immigration laws in place to keep it Western, like European. It was more of a broad law, but it was European immigration in the 1920s, and then they passed the immigration law that basically the floodgate law. The floodgates became open in 1965, opened immigration to everywhere, and so that's when we started taking. And that's good for capitalism, but it's just like there's some big negatives with capitalism. I mean, I think it's way better than socialism, but Bongino and Cash. Yeah, but they were talking. They were talking, and then they kind of shut up. Trump probably told them to shut up. Honestly, the East superior to the West? No, I would say no. No, no, no. I mean, certainly they have things that they have laws that I think are better in certain cases, policies that are better, but superior to the West, I would say no. No, 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 no. Especially for an average person in China. Come on. There's no way. Are you drinking sweet tea? I never drink sweet tea. Ann Coulter there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Ann Coulter. She was really big like the first run from Trump, the first presidential run. Trump is destroying India. Yesterday, he announced a 25% tariff today. He decided it's not high enough. He's raising it higher. Yeah, this is all because. Now, this is not about them exploiting us. It's because he doesn't want them buying Russian oil. That's why this is happening. Did Marco Rubio rip up a deal earlier this year? I don't think so. What the nuclear deal? I don't think so. Social problem with socialism, it doesn't reward wealth and hard work. Yeah, the problem is it just doesn't treat human beings as human. That's the problem with it. We're not robots. We can't. We don't. No, we don't want to be average. That's the problem. Certainly, if you have a bad situation in life, you'd probably take being average. But in terms of a wide scale, it's just not going to work. Eric Trump and Don Jr. are like Dumb and Dumber. Their business ideas are retarded. There's not going to be any Eric Trump slander in the chat. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't mind Eric. I think Don is a bit obnoxious. Don Jr. Don seems like someone that's probably pretty unlikable, honestly. But he's definitely more in the political realm than Eric. Remember the phone that they launched? That's the last one that I remember. The last business venture. They launched the Trump phone, and you could get like you get like what they should have done is they should have offered the Trump phone, and you got a certain amount of coins in like a pre-sale for Trump's crypto. Then I would buy it if that happened. If they gave me crypto, I'm not buying it. Remember when they launched the Solana phone and people got like $50,000 in bonk? And now they're launching they already launched the second Solana phone now, I think. The problem with capitalism is it doesn't punish greed. The problem with capitalism is it's purely profit incentive, and that doesn't work in certain aspects of life. It makes things worse, actually, when you're just obsessed with profit margins. And you're seeing it in sports. Actually, it makes sports a lot worse when they only care about profit margins.
With India,
what people don't like to say about India, they're the highest tariff nation. They have the highest tariff of anybody. We do very, very little business with India because their tariffs are so high. So India has not been a good trading partner because they do a lot of business with us, but we don't do business with them. So we settled on 25%, but I think I'm going to raise that very substantially over the next 24 hours because they're buying Russian oil, they're fueling the war machine, and if they're going to do that, then I'm not going to be happy.
It's about Russia. That's why he's doing it. The same Jews who say that if you oppose Zionism, you are denying them the right to self-determination are in favor of mass third world immigration. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is with them, it's like, we've got a lot of liberal men, liberal women, white men that are pro-mass immigration. We have to change their minds. You know, people must be extremely against. People have to be educated on this issue and why it's. I think a lot of it is just naive historical knowledge on how the U.S. was built. Because where we're going is not the way in which we were built. So it's very likely not going to lead to a better future for our country. Did you see the news about the U.S. House panel subpoena Bill and Hillary Clinton regarding Epstein? Yeah, again, with any of that stuff, I guess, I really think Trump is going to try and get one of them or do something, get one of them in a compromising position. But I don't know how realistic it is. I mean, he is the president, so it's like, you got to do something, man. And I think he wants to. I mean, he got the 34 felony charges. So he wants some type of revenge. He wants blood from someone. Big Balls got beat up in D.C. I know. It's he tried protecting an old woman, apparently. He's a good kid. Why does Trump change his mind almost daily on his tariffs? Well, this tariff is specific to the war. I mean, it's not really. This is because of the war. But in general, I mean, I don't know if he changes his mind daily. I think a lot of it is how much money he can get without it being inflationary or without it being too inflationary. That's what I think it is. 300K sub special stream. Yeah, I would say, I mean, if I just do better, if I get videos that do well, it'd probably be Friday. Friday, I would say. If I'm like 800 away right now, or 750 away, probably be Friday. Lack of education regarding immigration on the masses. The masses, normies, need to go back to take 7th grade. No, we don't want them taking U.S. Education. No, they need some actual... because the U.S. education is very bland. Just the common public school education. Have you ever gotten into a fight or had to defend someone? Now, when I was younger, but I'm not fighting people normally at all. I'm not in those positions. So not for a while. Like 6th and 8th grade maybe, but why Republicans want to stop funding Ukraine now they're fully behind them? Well, this is the problem is, look, Trump obviously has embraced the Western European countries on this. That's just what's happened. Originally, Trump wanted to do some type of fair deal between Russia and Ukraine. Russia wants, evidently, more land. So Trump now is mad at Russia. Ukraine was willing to negotiate. They agreed to an initial ceasefire, a 30-day ceasefire. Russia's the one that didn't. So now Trump is more mad at Russia because Russia's not playing ball. So now Trump is saying, well, Russia's not going to agree to this. We have to somehow get them to agree to it. So we have to fund Ukraine to force Russia's hand into stopping fighting. Basically is what happened. Some of the mods need to be banned for spamming. You can't even spam in chat. There's a delay. People get angry that there's a delay. You're not even allowed to spam. Why are you pro green energy? I'm pro energy that's the cheapest possible. Energy extraction is cheap as humanly possible. There's many different ways you can do it. Clean energy, if you have the right climate, it can be very beneficial. Big Balls, an American hero. When will they rebuild the South Tower? It maybe within the next 5 years. Honestly, it's gonna be hard. They don't have any tenants. They don't have a lead tenant. They have to find a lead tenant. They had one and then they lost them. I forgot who it was, but they had someone. They need a lead. They need like a tenant that's gonna buy up a bunch of the floor space. But nobody wants a skyscraper that big that's used for office, used for commercial. Can you provide me evidence that the guy didn't fabricate his assault? Well, I mean, basically what happened was 8 black teenagers were, I think, beating up an old woman, and he tried to defend her. It's really an admirable thing. Now, look, if you want to go prove it, why don't you go look it up? I don't know. That's what I heard. What's the South Tower going to look like? It's going to look like some eco-friendly bullshit that has greenery on it. It's terrible how they're building these skyscrapers. They think it's good. No. This is what people have to understand. This is what the architects have to understand. The green stuff goes at the base. The green stuff goes at the base. You don't put greenery within the middle. Like, look at the recent renderings of the South Tower. They have like fucking green terraces and these like open 10 floors up. There's like an open floor and it's just this giant green area. It's like, that doesn't look good. That looks terrible. This doesn't look appealing. It's the green architecture. When's college football first game? I think it's like probably August 24th or something. It's like August 23rd maybe. Something like that. Yeah, we'll go through this news. Let me see. U.S. trade deficit plummets. Have you seen the Sydney Sweeney ad? The White House just posted this. Tulsi Gabbard talking about Obama. Adam Schiff under criminal investigation. Don't know what's going to come of that. Big Balls is going to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his heroic action of saving a young woman. Oh, it was a young woman, not an old woman. Yeah, this is really nice.
By the way, I have to say that somebody from Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run. By the way,
please tell me you guys know that trade deficits are not measures of an effective economy. Hey man, you don't have to. I know gaming. I know gaming. You don't have to. I don't think gaming was saying anything bad. Yeah, we don't need to be deleting these messages, man. These messages are not bad. Um, please tell me you guys know that the trade deficits are not measures of an effective economy. It just means we order shit from them. Then, well, actually, over a short period, it's kind of meaningless. But they're obviously going to use it. It's a micro thing. But with the trade deficit going down, depicts that we're producing more of our own stuff. Hopefully. But I agree. I think short term, it's not a big indicator. Here's an idea. Why does the government stop spending more money than they take in? Well, debt can be a good thing, but I agree it's gotten out of control. It has gotten out of control. We've spent too much money on entitlements. We're kind of screwed now. We spent too much money on military. Yeah, this Trump shouldn't do this. This would be bad if Trump did this. He shouldn't do this. There's a group of people spelling the N-word in the chat. Don't need you getting flagged. We have problems with that last summer. Yeah, I think the only way I would get flagged is if it was on screen. That's why I had to move the chat off screen, because if they do that on screen, then it's bad. If they say it, but that's if it's on screen. If it's not on screen, there's no way that YouTube can do anything to me, because it's not. They can't even tell. I mean, it's like I can't control what people say in the chat. But if it's on screen, then technically, I guess they could, because it's like I actually don't even think anything would happen if it was on screen. Didn't Biden beat a particular type of entitlement? Yeah, that's what he said. They beat it by spending more money. NASDAQ 420 to the moon. Yeah, NASDAQ 420 is going to be really good, man. You just got to keep holding it. It's seeing some of these other Solana coins. It's nauseating. It's disturbing to see these Solana coins. American Eagle stock. I don't know. People should have bought that American Eagle stock. People were loving that yesterday. Pepe, me and the yeah, that is true. I know. No, Trump said he's not going to pardon him. Trump said he's not going to pardon Diddy. Thankfully. I hope YouTube doesn't get too censored. Yeah, I know. I don't think it will. I think they're gonna have to back down. They're not gonna be able to. They're not gonna be able to put a lot of this in place. It's just. It doesn't make us. It doesn't make much sense, honestly. It's like I don't even think I can go to Polymarket. It doesn't even load for me anymore, does it? I don't know what happened to Polymarket. I think it was something like I have like 500 gigabytes of space, and it's going to tell me there's no space for it. Doesn't make any sense. Let me go to this other one. This one actually shows stuff. Disney earning call. What will Disney say next in their earnings call? Acquisition. Abu Dhabi. JD Vance, 54% chance. Will any Texas House Democrat be arrested in the next month? 19% chance. Charlie Kirk on South Park. I mean, that's just... States will redistrict. %16 chance. Maxwell release. Huh. They're not allowed to use the NFL's logo, I guess. That's funny. Yeah, there's not much there. You know George W. Bush was bad, but you lived through Hurricane Katrina, and that was one of the worst things. Katrina 20-year anniversary. Yeah, W. Bush was real bad. Yeah, guys, the thing is... Yeah, gaming. You're a key member. You're a key member. I'm hemorrhaging support, so we can't afford to ban people, honestly. Like, let's be honest. Unless, listen, there are some people that do certain things, but I don't think I've banned anyone in probably like a month. So, and a lot of it is just people, the people that are viewing the live streams are just, it's just my followers, so there's no reason to ban them. Is ESPN Red Zone going to have a commercial? It's a joke. They're probably going to have commercials. There's another thing. There's another problem. They've destroyed Red Zone. Think about what Red Zone was 10 years ago compared to what it is now. They're already adding in commercials. There's capitalism. There's capitalism. Now they got to add in the commercials. They can get away with it. People will still watch. But what's the point of Red Zone with commercials? The whole idea was there's no commercials. See, Red Zone was great, and then it lost containment, and it became mainstream. And then it just became terrible. When it was like 2013, 2014, Red Zone was great. You may have liberals showing up to monitor Trump support. I don't know. Maybe on Charlie Kirk streams. I don't know about this stream. Huh. You thought you were banned? No, you're not banned, man. We're not gonna ban you, bro. We're not gonna ban you. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. We can't afford to ban people. Unless there is times to ban people. When they say certain certain times I do ban people, but it's pretty rare. You think Trump will be closer with Pakistan to spite India a bit? I don't know, man. I think this is a very localized thing. It seemed like Trump had a good relationship with India. This is more so Trump just wants the war to end, and so if the war ends, I think the relationship with India is going to be repaired. It's just like he just wants them to stop buying Russian energy, basically. Because if they keep buying Russian energy, his tariffs or his sanctions are not going to work real well. Who's replacing the Fed chair? It's not going to happen until 2026. I don't think Powell's going to step down, so I don't think it really matters right now. I don't know if they want Bessent to step into that role or just keep him. Could Georgia, North Carolina gain more electoral votes from the census change? Well, honestly, we really would. I mean, those are swing states. So if they gain more electoral votes, it wouldn't necessarily be a great. I mean, I guess North Carolina is a little bit more conservative, but they're both swing states. So I don't really want Georgia to gain more electoral votes. I think Georgia's getting more liberal. I don't know if it will or if it won't. You enjoyed Ohio? Yeah, well, you came at a great time because of the weather. I mean, you would have been hit with some bad humidity. And now it's already heating up. It's heating up now, unfortunately. Your election lead-up videos were legendary. Need more for the midterms. Yeah, I mean, I think the midterms will be whatever. I mean, the House is. I mean, I guess if there's like 10 or 11 key races, but it's a little bit different than a general election. But that'll be big for viewership, I'm sure. Prediction between Texas and Ohio State. I got Texas winning a close one. Thoughts? Thank you for the $2 donation. Thoughts on YouTube AI age verification? I think it's terrible, and it's not going to work. This is like total dystopia 101. They detect if you're underage. How does that work? They said we detect how you're underage. We detect if you're underage based on the type of content you view. It's really, really bad, and they need to not do that. And I don't know why wouldn't people within the administration come out against this. This is terrible. Again, when it comes to young kids not viewing this type of stuff, it's more of a cultural problem. The parents should say, no, we're not giving you a phone at this age because it's not good for your health. But they just do it anyways because it's a babysitter. So, and this stuff just leads to more censorship either way. First video they asked for your ID, you're out. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I don't even know how that would even work. It doesn't even make sense. Do you think the 2028 election stream will be as big as your 2024 election stream? Or is it too early to call? Yeah, I don't know about any of that, man. I don't know about 2028. That seems like it's going to be pretty tough to beat the 2024 one because I'm not going to be able to beat it, mainly because Trump gets me more viewers than someone like Vance. Vance is not going to bring in the viewership, let's be honest. I mean, but who knows? Denomination? Yeah, I just say I'm Protestant, man. I went to a Methodist church, but I just say I'm Protestant. You know, there was a big movement where these young everyone basically wants you to convert to Catholicism. I just think if you're Christian, I think forcing people to do things is just there's a big movement. I think it's dumb. You had to mod the first hour and then everyone settled down. It was hard to even read the chat. I mean, that's a different ball game with that. Basically I wasn't even reading the chat. There was no point. Or I was reading little snippets. I was reading little snippets of what the chat was saying on election night. It's hard to really remember. But the thing is, I tapped out relatively early because there's just like so fucking much talking. I was pretty bad the next day. You don't really realize the effect that talking that much has on you. If you talk for 9 straight hours, it becomes a problem the next day. And I was like, wow, this is an issue. Like I could barely function the next day. Vance versus Newsom. Yeah, that's basically as cookie cutter as it can get. I mean, that's the favorites right now for sure. But is that really going to be it? Maybe it is that boring. There's a big movement of Eastern Orthodoxy Christian. Yeah, I know what you're talking about with Andrew Wilson and those type of people. Yeah. Miami versus Notre Dame prediction. Yeah, I actually like Notre Dame to win that game on the road. I think Marcus Freeman is building a good program. They're going to win a close game. Aren't they? I think they're 3-point favorites, anyways. I think they're going to win. To me, they're just way more disciplined than that. But I know that they got a new quarterback. I'm going to have to look at some of these teams and see what they've got going on because of the transfer portal. It changes everything. But I just think Notre Dame. I don't know, man. Miami at home. That's going to be a tough game for Notre Dame with a new QB. You're almost never referencing the screen or watching videos. People love video reacts. Yeah, I don't like watching videos on stream. I think it's boring. I mean, what's the point? Another Florida alligator Alcatraz detention facility is opening. Speedway Slimer. Build them and they will come. That's what Eric says. Build them and they will come. Build the detention centers and the illegals will be attracted. The illegals will flock to the detention centers. You think the closest person with a big personality like Trump is MTG? No way. No way MTG would be anything like Trump. She would never get any nomination. AOC on the Democrat side, it would be like AOC's Jasmine Crockett. They're pretty obnoxious. Would you rather have Vance compared to any of the lost Democrats right now? You would rather have Vance? Only your challenge Republicans have is the MAGA base is being divided on certain issues. Yeah, like the Israel issue, I think, is obviously could be a problem. Although, I mean, what happens is it's like Republicans, Democrats. I mean, if you people are very likely just gonna pick Republicans. They're not, no matter what. Democrat Republican wildcards for 2028. For the Democrats, it's probably someone like Cuban, who's a billionaire, who's kind of obsessed with himself. Republican wildcard, it'd be someone like Tucker Carlson. Can't really see anyone else. I mean, maybe you get a DeSantis, but I don't see DeSantis doing much. Remember when Trump said Epstein was a winning issue for him? Well, it was a winning issue for him until this botchery happened. Certainly, it was a winning issue for him, but I think they were over embellishing like the amount of draw that Epstein had on the election. 100%. That's revisionist history to try and make Trump look bad. They're like, your supporters voted for this. Well, no, they voted for deportations and tax breaks for people and things like that. Yeah, but I mean, I think the situation's been handled badly, but I just think they're over embellishing. Don't sleep on Fetterman. No, there's zero chance. He's the most hated senator in the Democratic Party. There's zero chance that they would ever elect him as he's not going to win a primary. Dude, like, look at this. Save 30% on premium. And they're trying to get these down. Americans pay 800% more than Europeans. That seems like a good thing if they do that. Yeah, they're sharing that story. Huh. PBD. PBD, you guys still watch that? I haven't watched PBD in a while, honestly. Banned books. It's kind of an oxymoron if you can buy them. 1984. Want your channel to keep growing? Let's go 300k, but gotta say, really like the chill style. And wonder if more fame makes people less genuine. Lots of influencers seem to go that way, i.e. Nelk Boys. Well, this is what happens. You get a massive fucking ego. That's basically it. If you get really famous, I'm just telling you guys. So, you basically think you're better than people because of the amount of clout you have. 100%. 100%. That's what happens. And that's what happens to all these people. PBD is entertaining. Maybe I just haven't had a recommended. Maybe I just, because normally his podcast is at 10 a.m. Because I would watch some of his podcasts, but maybe they just haven't had anyone on that's hit the algorithm for me. Remember when you would make videos reading Reddit stories? Yeah, like 4 years ago, maybe. 4 years ago, I made videos like that. Never sell your soul to Israel. Dude, I don't even sell my soul to advertisers. I don't have an advertiser, bro. Come on, bro. Such a common problem. You'd think people would have gotten it now. Oh, yeah, but dude, I'm on the inside, so I know. When you get it 100% it changes people. Especially, these people are 10 times, 20 times, 30 times bigger than me, and they're mainstream. There's a different level with mainstream. That's the other thing. But mainstream stuff, I don't know. The mainstream stuff, it's got pros and cons, I'm sure. Good info on the clout ego explains a lot. Yeah, well, it's just, I mean, and there's people are very competitive when you're in a niche, and so that type of stuff happens. But a lot of the times, I really don't even look at my subscriber counts. I just try and make sure I get enough views. You don't understand the following XQC? What you mean you can't understand his gibberish like fucking language? I mean, I don't know. I'm not, but the guy, you can't even understand what he's saying. If the advertisers offer you $2 billion, come on. I mean, that's not realistic, man. It's not realistic. They'll offer me market value. It's not worth it. When you get Netanyahu on a stream, that would be a major pull for me. That would be a huge pull. Get Netanyahu on. Dude, I'll be like the number one most important question. What if I was just like, well, you're obviously well in right. You're obviously well within your rights to annex all of Gaza. We know this. Dude, how angry would people get if I said that? What if I was like, when are you annexing the West Bank? Is that gonna happen? When are you annexing Burger King? The subscriber only chat should be good enough incentive for people to subscribe. Yeah, well, the problem is with, I'm not going to be getting much unique viewers with these live streams. I would need a big political event to happen, like the Iran situation, or what's another thing that happened? I guess maybe like a big Musk Trump thing or something like that. Wish there were more swing states in general elections, would make election night more fun. Yeah, but then it becomes almost like an overload. Then it becomes like if every state's a swing state, it's kind of then it's hard, you can't even predict it. I like that the fact that there's 7 or 8 swing states, so it's easier to predict, but it's not too easy. And obviously when it comes to predictions, the liberals are going to pick the liberal, the Republicans are going to pick the conservatives are going to pick the conservative. And this year last year we won. So all of us looked good. We looked good with our predictions. How do you have so many fan accounts? I don't have that many. I have about maybe 4 or 5 fan accounts, people. Easy fix clickbait. Yeah, but it's like I don't even know what even is clickbait in the political sense. It's like I guess you could try and clickbait and change it up a little bit. I will be honest. These people, the people that want to be hired for making thumbnails, there's no point in doing it because it's like they want $30 or $40. It's like, bro, I made like $50 off the video. How am I going to give you $30? This dude redesigned one of my thumbnails, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you think, all right, we'll see, and I was like, holy shit, this is like 10 times better than what I make. And I told him that I was like, dude, I'll be honest, this shit is way better than what I make. I'm not, or I don't want this service though, because it's not worth it for me. But I was like, this is actually a crazy thumbnail. I was surprised at how good it was. I was like, I'll be honest, this is actually impressive. Oh yes, we want your resources. We love you. Give us your cobalt. Yeah, I think my thumbnails are decent, honestly. They're good enough. It's like could I put more effort into them? Yeah. But at a certain point, actually less is more with thumbnails. If you put a bunch of stuff in them, it becomes a problem. So you can't really put a bunch of stuff in them. You really hope the Child Safety Act doesn't pass Congress. Yeah, that needs to not pass. I don't know when is that coming. When is that going to be voted on? Well, Congress is in a massive recess right now, so it's going to be a while. You hire someone from India, you get a very cheap rate, but it's probably going to be a worse product. You should see the amount of Indians in crypto. It's insane. They try and like do the shilling work and stuff on Telegram, on the meme coin groups. Why don't you make a 15-second video on the resources song? That's like YouTube 15 years ago. Is you make 10-second song, 10-second videos. Now you don't really do that. I mean, it'd be a short. You could do it in the short. Yeah, that would be the function of the shorts, is to do like little 10-second videos. Maybe I should use shorts more, just to address the audience. Can you tell us when somebody will ask for a picture? I mean, what's the point? What do you want to be updated on that? You want a status update? I mean, come on. These districts are insane.
I still think you shouldn't be able to vandalize public or private property on behalf of Hamas, a terrorist organization. That being said, you can hate Jews for all I care, and if you are in a hurricane zone, it should be taken into account zero.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like there are people in this administration who really don't know what it is that you voted for, who are so completely out of touch. And they can't make many more missteps like this because it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them a lot.
It's right on the heels of the whole Wailing Wall incident that we talked about yesterday. It's just like one step after another, guys. It's like, listen, I'm trying to find the common sense kind of place to interpret these things reasonably. You're making it very difficult right now.
I still think.
Yeah, well, that was a problem when they did that yesterday, but it's like, we all know it's a problem. I mean, what do you want us to do at this point? They tried changing it. They tried revising it. Kirk over Crowder. Yeah, what is Kirk on? Is Kirk on YouTube or Rumble? I never see Kirk's stuff. The only time I see Kirk is when it's the college campuses, and that always gets recommended. And I really don't watch that very much, but it always gets recommended. I think it's got probably a pretty crazy click-through rate, so the algorithm always recommends it when he debates college kids. Kirk's on YouTube. Yeah, no, he is, I know. You're right. You talked about the Clintons. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it. To me, it's like, let's see if something gets produced from this. You know how many people the Clintons know within the government and stuff, and it's like, maybe it's different because it's Trump and he's on a revenge tour because of his felony charge. So maybe it's different. You think 2028 to 2032 is going to be a repeat of 88 to 92? George H.W. Bush had no real competition. Then went on to lose re-election in 92. Yeah, well, I do think it is a bit of a worry, especially with the problem with incumbents. I mean that would be the problem you would want to have because that would mean Vance wins, and then he'd maybe have a problem winning re-election as an incumbent. So you'd want to have that problem. I mean, you wouldn't want Vance to lose in 32, but if Vance doesn't have any competition, then but we're there's so much, what if Vance does a really good job, and we don't know where the country's going to be by then, so I don't think you can really predict that. But yeah, Vance probably isn't going to, especially if Trump is saying Rubio's going to be the VP now, I don't think Vance is going to have a ton of competition. That seems like a kind of big news, even though it's 3 years away. Don't vote for Vance. He's a traitor. Who are you voting for then, bro? You're voting for Newsom? Could you do Trump's schedule? Seems like dude never sleeps. Yeah, Trump, it's known, it's widely known Trump operates on about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Some people can do that. It is possible, especially when you get older. You can do that. So you sleep less when you get older, but with Trump, it's next level. I mean, he does operate, they say, about 3.5, 4 hours of sleep. So he'll go to sleep about 2 a.m. and wake up at 6, they say, from what I was reading. You think Indiana will make the championship? No, no, I don't think they will. I don't think Indiana's that good. Honestly, they're still gonna lose. I know their schedule's easy, but I don't think Indiana's gonna do anything. We need some meme coins. Yeah, I'll be going to the meme coins in a second. Yeah, I'll be going to the meme coins. The meme coins. More subs coming in. Yes, the viral video. I'm getting these subscribers. They watched my renovation video and they enjoyed it. I assure you, the Democrats do not want to destroy America. This is not true, even though well, it depends. I mean, some Democrats want to destroy America, and they think they're justified because they think America was founded by racist white men. And I mean, you do want to destroy America if you want to change your demographics the way you guys want to. That would be destroying America. Look at the Naturalization Act of 1970. Look at the Immigration Act of 1924. That actually it does destroy the country if the immigration continues at the degree it's been. Democrats more than support that type of immigration. They think it's necessary, and that's mainstream Democrats too. Why aren't more Democrats more real? Even the ones that obviously there are smart Democrats. I mean, you'd think these people would understand. It's like, yeah, this is not going to end well if you continue this immigration. I'm sorry. Do you do XRP? Come on, bro. You know I'm DCAing XRP every day on Coinbase. The ultimate boomer strat. DCA XRP on Coinbase, DCA XRP on Binance every day. Boomers unite. Trump is like, I'm big into XRP. Yeah, and I know Baron has not talked. United States note. I wonder how rare these are. United States note. What, pre 1913? Imagine Baron chooses you for an interview. There's your 1,000,000 followers. Yeah, that would be. But that would be good. But it would be like it would be inorganic growth. He should start doing interviews though, but probably with like podcasts, like with Rogan or something. Better VP, Vance or Pence? Pence, remember him? The Jugs coin went crazy about a week or two ago. I'm sure it did. I wonder how the Jeans coin did. Hunter talks. Yeah, Hunter definitely talks. Now he does because he's somewhat, well, I guess, more sober. Do you think the White House renovation is a waste of money? Well, it's being privately funded. It's not through taxpayer. So it doesn't, whether or not you think it's a waste of money, they do need a bigger space to host events. So it makes sense that they would do that. But, you know, it's through private donors. It's through Trump. Pence didn't do shit as VP. Yeah, Pence was the only thing Pence was known for was January 6th reaction. That's it. You know, they just got Pence to get the evangelicals, the Midwest. That's why he was the VP choice. And that was back when it was you know, very more establishment driven. So they wanted someone more establishment as the VP with Trump, who was an outsider, to try and balance it better. Will anyone believe what Maxwell says? No, I don't think there's going to be any, because you got to understand all the pressures at play in that situation. I mean, you're being interviewed by Trump people. You want to get out. You want to get some type of deal from them. There's going to be some appeasement. There's going to be some things that people, you know, maybe they don't allow to be brought to the table in terms of things that she says that are redacted. I mean, it's all, nothing can really be trusted from that. Unless it's something like huge to where it's like, all right, we have this revelation that happens and maybe she'll give something interesting and then people will be intrigued. But there's always going to be a thought that, oh, it's, you know, it's, she's holding back or she's not saying something because the administration doesn't want to hear it and she's trying to get a pardon. I mean, if she's trying to get a pardon, there's already a power dynamic there. Pence was known for a fly on his hair. Yeah, the VP debate. That was a VP debate against, it would have been against Kamala, that VP debate in 2020 when that happened. Let's hope MAGA becomes the establishment. Yeah, well, Trump definitely is definitely showing establishment tendencies for sure. I think he's just a boomer. I mean, he's, you know, when you're 80, it is what it is. I mean, he was definitely more of an outsider. He's turned into more establishment a little bit. But he's still doing really good things. I mean, the immigration stuff's really good. Pearl Harbor 9/11 bigger. Wow. Now that's good. Well, Pearl Harbor directly led us to get involved. We wanted neutrality until Pearl Harbor happened. So that was our, you know, it led to our direct involvement in the biggest war. So it's kind of hard to beat that. But 9/11, I mean, then that starts our campaigns in the Middle East. Two more subs? Dude, it's not two more subs. It's like fucking 700, 800 more. Pearl Harbor was the biggest game changer. I mean, yeah, when you're talking about the nation wanting to be, independent of the war and then immediately entering it because of an event, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that event in terms of how important it is. You know, joining a world war because of an event. Biggest event that directly affected your life? Yours was Hurricane Katrina. Well, I think for most people my age, it would be COVID because, I mean, obviously that's a major thing that happened to everyone. It's either COVID or, well, I mean, personal things. There's been some personal stuff. But like something that the government was involved in, or it was like a war or something, like on a national level, it would be COVID. It's either COVID or like a natural disaster thing, and we haven't, in Ohio, we don't really have any of that type of stuff. We don't have any hurricanes or anything like that, obviously. Oh, you meant I gained 2 more subs. I thought you were saying like 2 more subs, like I was 2 subs away from 300K. Yeah, now I understand now. You need to start making Benny Johnson clickbait thumbnails. There's no way I could make those. He's got an editor, man. That's not those things are run through like advanced AI and stuff. I mean, by the way, they have the reactions and the faces. Those have to be run through like some type of advanced thing. I mean, if you look at those. Nuking Japan justified. That's actually a good idea for a video. Was nuking Japan justified? It's a multi-layered question. I mean, we were going to beat Japan. They didn't want to surrender. You know, they have an honor culture. They didn't want to surrender. They wanted us to invade all their small islands. They got guerrilla warfare. It's miserable. We were going to lose a lot of troops for nothing. They were already going to lose. But I think nuking is tough, man. It's tough to justify that. What are people doing in their spare time in remote Ohio? I don't live in really in a remote place. They're doing what other people are doing in remote areas all over the country, I'm sure. There's farms here. There's a corn, not as many cornfields as other states like Iowa and Nebraska, but Benny Johnson bought 2 million subs. Want me to find a video? What do you mean that's not you really no, I highly doubt he bought subs. Buying subs is terrible for your channel anyways cuz it devalues it in the algorithm. He gets enough views to where I can understand him having the subs that he has. If you buy subs, it's very bad for your channel. It devalues it. How many states have you been to? Would you like to visit all 50? I think it would be it's fine to go as many places as possible, I think. But how many states? I can't even say, but it's not even that many. I mean, I'd have to really think about it because it's like obviously maybe Ohio, Indiana, New York, Florida, North Carolina. No, South Carolina, not North Carolina. Really nowhere else. I mean, you can't really count stopping at airports, so nothing really in the South. Montana, California, Nevada, Arizona. Maybe that's it. Colorado, Pennsylvania. I think that's it. Have you been out of the country? Yeah. New Mexico is a beautiful state. Yeah, I mean, I can believe it. I'm sure they've got some nice topography. Trump is cooked and Vance would be safer. What do you mean safer? I don't even know what that means. Now Trump's the kingpin, dude. It's not the Vance stuff. Look, there's people on the right that don't like Trump. That's fine. They think he's cucked for Israel. All right. It's like, dude, I'll just, you know, you have a loyalty to Trump, and so that's just how you keep the loyalty. How destructive would the Bojangles plot have been? I mean, it would have been more deaths than 9/11. You know, there was going to be 4,000 deaths. They said I mean, they were going to hijack 25 aircrafts and crash them over the Pacific Ocean. I don't even know how you do that with the scale. Well, no, they weren't going to crash them. They were going to detonate bombs. Basically, they were going to take a flight, leave a bomb, like you legitimately planted a bomb in a seat, get off the plane, the next people that go on it, and then blows up. These are, you know, cross country flights. They wanted them to blow up over the ocean. You still say Day should have been fired right after winning the national championship for losing to Michigan? Yeah, I think Day is on thin ice. I mean, dude, like winning the national title is something, but it's almost like the national title is kind of not as meaningful now because of the watered down regular season. So I almost think if he's probably still on thin ice. I know people are like, oh, he just won. So, but I feel like he probably is. Will India, Taiwan, and the U.S. collapse China in the future into 3 military zones? No, no. That's a joke question. Have you ever heard of the business plot? It was when people tried to coup the government. No, I never heard of that. Will North and South Korea ever reunite during our lifetimes? Well, I don't think they would reunite. I think North Korea would be turned in some type of occupation zone. Basically, they would probably get themselves. They would, if it happens, they would get themselves nuked. Basically, I think there's a greater than 0% chance of them there being something that they do that's dumb. I mean, they haven't done much though. They've got the deterrent now. You know, they've got the deterrent, so nobody really touches them. But you never know with North Korea. They're very unstable and that they have, you know, nuclear capability. Not to a significant degree if you watch their tests, but they still have a nuclear capability. There's a funny moment of the 24 Republican debate when they asked if candidates would support Trump if convinced, and DeSantis was confused if he should raise his hand. Yeah, I know, but that's like DeSantis. That's a caricature of his entire campaign. You know, he didn't know if he should be MAGA or anti-MAGA, and he was stuck in the middle. Brian Kelly definitely on the hot seat. Yeah, he is. They probably will lose to Clemson. Clemson's really good this year, but they can lose to Clemson and, you know, still make the playoff easily. But yeah, they're probably getting really tired of Brian Kelly because LSU is they're like a bipolar team. One year they'll go like 13-1, the next year they'll be 6-6, but they're gonna have to make the playoff. I think LSU for Brian Kelly to still be the coach. I mean, unless there's no options to replace him, then maybe he'll stay. Central time zone is really the best when it comes to, yeah, I mean Central or Mountain, I guess. But I think Mountain's a bit too early, you know, because games would start at 10 a.m. Central they start at 11. It's a bit better. It probably is. Who's Ohio State's best player? Probably Caleb Downs. Imagine if Saban comes out of retirement to coach at LSU. I heard there was a rumor Saban was going to come out of retirement and coach the Browns from Colin Cowherd. But I think it's impossible. I don't think it would happen. But the Browns, this is what's going to happen. I mean, the Browns are going to get Drew Aller, probably, the Penn State quarterback. That's who they're probably going to draft. Let's take a look at this. This is a beautiful chart. Nice, nice, nice. Breakout. Yeah, guys, I bought this coin when it was like right here. I bought the coin when it was at 60K. So I got like a 30x, honestly. I mean, maybe Howard gets in if the Steelers are really bad. Because this is Rodgers' last year. If they're terrible, I mean, they're not going to play him at the end of the year. Dude, this troll coin is so annoying. This troll coin, man. Now it's at 160, 170. I wonder if the other troll coin was the first one, the one on Ethereum. What happened to the one on Ethereum? It's at 4 million, 5 million. Come on, dog. This is the one that should be running. You think the Eagles will get a dome? I'm hoping they don't. I really hope they don't. I think their stadium is more than adequate. They can do some renovations to it. Probably the surrounding area would have to be built up. But I think them getting a dome would be it's just that it's a sign that the NFL is just they're obsessed with these closed the climate controlled environments. It's a problem. You know, I think at some point there'll probably be a change. They're probably gonna yearn for outdoor stadiums in like the year 2070. It's kind of a joke, but that's probably what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, man, like it's like the meme, you know, like the 40 IQ is like outdoor football is amazing. Then the 80 IQ people are like, no, you need a dome. You need, or what is it? The 100 IQ people, the average people are like, no, you need a dome. Everything has to be controlled and fair. And then the enlightened people, no, we need outdoor football. It's important. It makes the sport unique. That's what's going to happen, I think. Eventually, they'll be like, well, we got to get rid of these domes. It's too boring. Are there people living on the ocean floors on planet Earth? Yeah, there are actual oceanic bases. Yeah, there are. Not they're not deep though. They have that type of stuff. I remember seeing it in YouTube videos. You know, now they're building that nuclear base, but I don't understand the idea. Listen, I'd have to look it up. You'd think somebody would explain it. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't look it up, but it's just like, why is it not? All these people are like, oh, they're going to build a nuclear plant on the moon, but why exactly? How is that cost? How is that good for cost? I don't understand that. They should build a station with a biodome on the moon. I would be interested in something like that. I don't know about this energy, the energy stuff. What's the purpose of that? How do you even get energy to the Earth? Just build a station. Build an actual moon base. I'd be interested in something like that. Thoughts on OU next year? Brett Venables on the hot seat. Yeah, but what is OU really going to do at this point? OU screwed themselves going to the SEC. Their schedules they're brutal. It's OU schedule, but Venables has to do something. They have to beat Michigan. If they lose to Michigan at home, that week 2 game, it's going to be a problem for them. Are you going to comment on Trump's Israel order that states can't boycott Israel? Yeah, Trump, I already commented on that. Trump rescinded it and said, I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to be in there. Netanyahu is with me right now. Do you have a question for him? How many Burger Kings can we put up in the Gaza Strip? Pause on non-white immigration and take Greenland resources. Yeah, that's really what we would have done. I mean, that's such a smart idea. The Greenland stuff is just so important. People don't realize how important it is, but it's diplomatically a nightmare. If I'm cutting out, then refresh. Refresh the stream. When you went to the game in Cleveland, you saw maybe 2 people with Guardians gear on. Everyone else wore Indians. Yeah, I know. That's kind of how it is. It's not too surprising. Wow, this coin. I remember when this coin was launched. Wait. Yeah, I do remember this coin. That coin actually had a God candle. Well, that was a cabal for sure. That was definitely a cabal. Give me a God candle. LOL guy market cap. This thing, this is a brand new coin. I would stay away from it. Yeah, they spent 1,000 ad booster. I mean, that's telltale sign. Telltale sign of either a bundled shit coin that's gonna just get nuked. Very likely gonna get nuked, I would say. Any new coin on Solana where they buy those boosts, it's fucked. Big balls. Wait, where's the actual big balls coin? That's a newer one. I wonder if the actual coin pumped. Or maybe this isn't the newer one. No, this is. The coin did like a 6x. Well, even more. You know, how's the Greenland coin doing? Oh, you know what, guys? The Greenland coin. Is it time for me to invest back into the Greenland coin? 1,000 IQ, 45K market cap. I bought this coin like 3 times. Yeah, I held it through this pump when it went to 2.7 million. 45K. 1,000 IQ play. Trump's going to talk about it next week. Trump talks about it. Goes back to 3 million. Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's. I guess Chick-fil-A. It's already at 1 million with the LOL guy. It's a joke. Stay away from stuff like that. Did Big Balls die? No, he was beat up. Raising Cane's is blind as shit. Yeah, I've never really had much. I've had it a few times. I don't think it's necessarily that great. Vivek and Vance were in the same class. Yeah, dude, you know Vance named his kid Vivek? Bro, like, what is that? That is a weird thing, I'm not gonna lie. That's a very weird thing. Trump's general named Raisin Cane. Remember that? Remember when Trump announced it? He's like, Raisin Cane. I was like, what? That was the announcement on the strikes on Iran. Let's see how Grok 5 is doing. Yeah, this is an easy play if you want to make money. Grok 5. It'll take some time for it to come out, but eventually it'll go to 300 or 400K. You'll get like a 10x off of it. What was the other one? I forget. But you got to filter this out. Filter out the Solana shit. Get rid of the noise. Marie Rose, really? Seriously? Not this shit again. Not the mascot. The fake 4chan coin. Got burned with AMD. Hard tonight with Amazon. Boomers angry at a 10% decrease. Boomers worldwide mad at a 10% miscalculation. Greenland coin is a long-term hold. Yeah, Greenland coin at some point that's got to go back up. I mean, let's be honest. I hope, dude, Trump should just. I've given up a lot for Trump. Trump should give me some alpha. Be like, I'm taking it over tomorrow. You need to invest and buy up 10% of the supply, son. Psychology behind meme coins. Meme coins are belief systems. Meme coins are the same thing as a lot of the utility, you see. The utility is shit. So buy a utility coin, it's basically the same thing as a meme coin. But at least meme coins don't have vesting schedules. I used to buy utility coins, and I like a lot of the tech in crypto. I think it's good. I think a lot of the tech is good, but you know, a lot of people buy utility coins and there's shit. Will the Big Ten championship be Michigan versus Penn State? Nah, not Michigan. Hell no. It's going to be boring. It's going to be one of three teams: Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon. Or two of those three teams, I should say. What happens to CZ related coins? His dog. Isn't it called CZ's dog? CZ. Wait. I don't know what his dog. I don't know what the dog is. Oh, is this the GTA 6 one that I was in? No, this wasn't the one that I was in. Yeah, this was definitely not the one that I was in. Actually, I think it might. Well, no, it wasn't. Have you heard of how Gen Alpha is making teachers quit? What, like, radical, because they're radicalized? Oh, that's what it is. Dude, dude, I hate BNB. BNB is a joke. Wait, what happened to this coin? This coin just got cooked. Yeah, I stay away from BNB. Pancake Swap is annoying, dude. Pancake Swap was 2021. We're back to Ethereum. DG2 identifies as a whale. That's a big donation from the DG2 community. The DG3 JZ. Yeah, they upgraded the upgraded version. I don't really think very little people use BN. Like, let me see the top BNB coins actually. Feels like BNB is a dying ecosystem. Dude, I don't even. Everything's on Ethereum base or Solana. Cat in a dog's world. Dude, this coin. Cat in a dog's world. This coin is not worth it. 257 million. Depressed Ginger, Harry Potter, Obama. Yeah, you know those coins. They got another one that's actually that I was looking at. It the ticker's a theory. The ticker is ETH. I don't know what it's like. Hannah Montana something something something, and then the ticker's ETH. John Pork is running again, up 300%. Yeah, it's because it's a cabal with that coin, probably. I mean, BB coin. Yeah, this would be big for Israel. The funds would be donated to Israel. Binance mascot is the only thing. A good starting level home in your area is about 350K. Yeah, no, that seems like a pretty standard. So what is starting level? 3,000 square feet. You know, we have homes, they're only like 1,700 square feet. These homes are 300K, 400K. Could you do an update on country launched coins on your second channel? Yeah, it would be a short update though. What is it? The Central Africa Republic of the Congo is the coin. They launched one. Central Africa, Argentina, but that was turned out to be a scam. Was there any other country that launched one? There was one other one, I think. Good starting home where you live is 800K. That seems, I mean, you must live in a big city. I can't really see any other option. 800K is crazy. Or it's like a really upscaled suburb next to a big city. Do a video on mid-level market cap meme coins on base. Yeah, I mean, base. Just take a look at base really quickly. I like base. Yeah, they've got based troll now. They've got the based Shiba Inu. So they've got all these based coins. They got Russell, Brian Armstrong's dog. That coin boomed, I saw. What is this? Zora. The Zora network, really? Boomer. Boomer's been running. Boomers worldwide are excited to buy their own coin. Zora the Explorer. You know Zora. Zora's been on a heater, man. I'll give Zora credit. Zora got on a heater, man. Holy. That's an interesting ecosystem. Man, that would have been a great buy. That's a utility buy, too, at 25 million. That's a utility buy. That's a $10 billion coin at 25 million. Not bad. Thoughts on Drew Aller, QB from Penn State? No, he's good. He's a good player, Drew Aller. I mean, he's inaccurate sometimes, but he's a good player. I think he's a good player. can't get behind Y2K and 420 69K. Yeah, I'm in 420 69K. That's actually a good coin. You should look at that coin. It's right here. This is a good coin, I'm being honest, and it's retraced and now it's formed a new floor. But the Y2K coin I'm not in, but I think the Y2K coin is good, but I just never got an entry. Why did Russell explode? I don't know. I never looked into why it exploded, but it was insane. I never seen a coin. Well, I mean, I've seen coins go crazy, but this coin did. It was dormant and then it popped. I mean, I guess it only did like a 7x. Nothing crazy. Pretty funny though. I was looking at that coin, but I was never gonna buy it. What's up? Haven't tuned in a while. What's up, man? CoffeeZilla, the worst. Yeah, remember when he was making videos about the Epstein situation, and he's already washed. He's already lost it. He's a normie clown. He's a normie buffoon. What did Trump say on CNBC? Your Nasdaq went down 0.4%. That's why you need to buy the boomer coin on base. You'll be a lot more happy. You'll be a lot more happy if you buy the boomer coin on base. It suits you. It's your coin. You don't have to worry about the QQQ. Can Ohio State repeat as national champions? I mean, of course they could repeat. They have the talent to do it, but will they actually do it? It's unlikely. It's very hard to repeat, especially with where you got to win like 4 games now. You got to win like 4 games. It's tough stuff. Remember this? This thing came out. Dude, look at him. That's a crazy face. She's like, that's so fucking stupid. Do you recognize me? Yeah, Jack, I know. You ask about meme coins. What was the bigger letdown, DJT 4700 or Dark Maga? Well, I mean, I think DJT was a letdown for sure, but Dark Maga, it's not even, it has to be Dark Maga. What else would it be? What's the context behind that? Now, it was at an airport. Let's just say that. I don't know what the context was. Charlie Kirk endorses JD Vance and Marco Rubio. Charlie Kirk announces his run for president in 2036, in 2028. And his VP, Tucker Carlson. Thoughts on the Indian sport cricket? I never got into. I don't watch it. I don't understand it. But I don't understand how it's played. I mean, I see it. I see some of the cricket grounds and this. You know, the cricket is very big in Australia. You know, the Sydney cricket grounds. Pakistan looks cleaner than India. That's because it is. Actually, I've heard Pakistan is the worst place to live, but I think that has to do a lot with government. I made you money, really? Well, listen, if I made you money, you got to keep holding because I don't think I've really made, with my picks, I think they're really going to boom in the future. Right. So if I've already made you money, hopefully you'll be making a lot more. Opinion on Meet Kevin on YouTube. Just the ultimate. Yeah, I've seen that dude. He's a bot. You have you have that disease, Typhoon. Yeah, I've heard of that. What do you think? I'm a 3-year-old. I don't know that little joke. Somebody got me on one of those a while ago. It just doesn't work anymore. You don't always buy what I look at. Yeah, a lot of the times I don't buy what I look at. Yeah, I know Musk donated to Trump. It's kind of funny. There goes his party. Everyone stop what you're doing right now and go watch Mark Levin. The tweet immediately gets retired to the Boomer Hall of Fame. Boomers worldwide rejoice after the announcement of that tweet being nominated into the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame ceremony for that tweet. Do you think the self-deportation numbers are exaggerated? Well, I haven't even seen the self-deportation numbers outside of somebody saying it was 700K, which I find very hard to believe it was 700K. So, yeah, if they said it was 700K, I don't think it's 700K, but I haven't really seen any numbers outside of that. And that was like 3 months ago. You love Mark Levin and buybacks. You like war bonds. You like war bonds too. You like you like a 0.05 increase in your portfolio evaluation. Yeah, the Bangladesh is the worst country. It's the most unsanitary country. People don't realize it. They all say, again, normies always talk about India, and India is really bad. I agree. Bangladesh is worse. Dude, there was somebody from Bangladesh, some crypto person on Telegram. He's like, I'm from Bangladesh. Dude's working for like 15 cents an hour. It's like, bruh. They should create a cryptocurrency where like 90% of the supply it's all circulated. So basically, you create a cryptocurrency, you circulate 100% of the supply, you buy 90% of it back, and then you burn all 90% over the span of 30 years. So it deflates to 10% of its original supply. Somebody needs to do that idea. And it would be like a better version of Bitcoin. Bangladesh and North Korea are the 2 worst countries on earth. Yeah, I mean North Korea, there's just there's no access to the internet in North Korea, or I think there is access, but it has to be like a state net. It's like a state sponsored website you can only go to in North Korea, I think. So in terms of rights, I mean in North Korea, it's just also they have no food. The coin idea you just had would basically be anti-Bitcoin. No, it would be like anti-fiat. Bitcoin, it wouldn't be anti-Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't, they don't, Bitcoin is its supply is, basically Bitcoin supply can only go down. Because you can only burn it. You can't create more Bitcoins. So Bitcoin supply is stable. It's fiat. That's the problem. They just, print more fiat. Which, because it's a currency, it's different. Bitcoin, I don't think was ever meant. They said, they try and clown on Bitcoin because they say, well, Satoshi said that, it was supposed to be a currency and it's not a currency. Well, it's too volatile. And it can still technically be used as a currency because of its value. You could trade Bitcoin for a house, but it can't be a currency because of the volatility of it. It's not feasible, which is fine. You see what they're doing in Egypt. They made a new capital. The reason I think they made that new capital was because they wanted to stop the protests, and so that's what they say. They said they made this new administrative capital. That's what it's called, the new administrative capital. It cost, it only cost like $60 billion, honestly. Maybe something like that. And China paid for some of it. But, they did it, and they made the roads so wide. They want to make the roads as wide as possible. They don't want people organizing and protest, so they make the roads really wide. And you can't really organize and protest in areas because it's all too big. That's what Egypt did. El Salvador uses Bitcoin as an official currency. Well, it can be traded as it's a stored value. That's what it is. It can't really function as a currency. It doesn't make sense for it to function as a currency. Again, the volatility of it is too high. People wouldn't want to use it as in terms of that. You'd have to strategically, if you're buying a house, you'd have to kind of strategically time the market properly. Which I guess it's like, well, there's inflation in fiat, so technically if you wait, you're going to lose money. But it's not nearly the same thing as Bitcoin. I think the volatility of Bitcoin's probably going to stop, although there was a really good prediction on Bitcoin that I was like, I think this is actually and it said Bitcoin was going to reach 1 million by 2034 or something. Maybe it'll happen sooner. I don't know. When is Israel going to move in and take Gaza? I don't know. I mean, Trump gave him the green light to do it, it looks like. They want Gaza, Israel does. But I don't know. How are they going to redevelop it? You know how much money that costs? They bombed everything. Check Eric. Is there another thing?
Jessica.
Yeah, I certainly can see that argument, and there are other states that you could show, frankly, that are controlled by Democrats and Republicans that have similar comically drawn lines. But Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker are absolutely correct. Democrats are sick and tired of showing up to fights with the wrong weaponry. We've been pushed around by Mitch McConnell and the Republicans for far too long, and of course we're going to take the opportunity when we see it to redistrict in a way that is favorable to us. We would be stupid not to. But it doesn't change the facts on the ground. There was a bill in 2021 that all the Democrats supported that would have had a national ban on redistricting in this way, and all the Republicans opposed it. I also heard no complaints from any Republican when Mike Johnson, just a couple weeks ago, decided to abdicate his job to say, actually, Congress isn't in session anymore because I don't want to have to vote on turning over the Epstein files, the bill put forward by Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie. He said, let's go home rather than talk about the fact that Donald Trump may or may not have been in there.
All right.
So be equal opportunity in your complaints about fleeing your job. At least they're doing this for a good reason.
Tommy, I'll let you take that. Go ahead.
First of all, the Democrat Party has been reduced
Yeah, well, the problem with her saying that, oh, we wanted independent commissions, they're very liberal biased. They've redrawn states, and these are independent commissions. They've made maps that are extremely favorable to liberals. So why would Republicans want to do that? But I mean, the gerrymandering stuff, it's, he said, she said, they both do it. But guys, that is going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to go ahead and Howard Stern is being canceled now. I'm surprised Howard Stern was still on. Baby girl. Yeah, Howard Stern is gone. The Ligma thing reminded me when you genuinely got baited when I was saying Scott Jennings and Caitlin Collins were. Yeah, I'm surprised you got baited by that. I mean, imagine I was just like opposites attract. I mean, maybe. You love Israel, of course you do. Clyde hasn't been answering your calls. Dude, you do have some problems. You got some issues, man. You you need cat therapy. May I say just cat therapy? All right, guys. I'll be seeing you later.